Oh my god. Just a quick question for you. That's my question. Why is, anyway, I feel sick, I don't know why, and that's the why, okay? Like, listen to me. Yeah, you're not listening. Listen to me. So many things are going on in my body right now. Who knows what it is that's causing me to be sick? First suspect, withdrawals from SSRIs. I'm still getting brain zaps. I still get brain fog. So, and nausea is one of those side effects. So that could be it. Suspect number two. Today I took my first dose of lion's mane, which is a nootropic. I don't know if nausea is one of the side effects from that. I should probably look that up. Possibility number three. Suspect number three. I believe I'm coming down with a cold because yesterday I had a sore throat and today I had also a bit of a sore throat. Possibility number four. I just randomly feel sick. Sometimes this happens. Possibility number five. I feel sick because I only ate one meal today and somehow I'm interpreting that as nausea. That seems unlikely though, but it's possible. Possibility number six. I took two magnesium tablets in quick succession today. They weren't that quick succession. They were about, I believe, an hour or 45 minutes apart. And it says that you should take three per day. However, normally when I take them, I spread it out over the day. I take one when I wake up, one with lunch, and one before I go to sleep. So maybe taking two doses close together was a bad thing, but who knows? So it could be any of these things, and I have absolutely no way to determine which one it is or how to fix whatever one it is. Now, normally I would just write this off as just random nausea that would pass, but I don't know if that was in the last video I made or if it's gonna be in this video, but recently I threw the fuck up after feeling nauseous for a while, out of nowhere. And that was, who knows why that was, because that was also two suspects. One, I was hungover, and two, withdrawals were really bad that day. So it could have been either of those two things. Who fucking knows? Either way, I need to go talk to my junkie friend and convince him to get off drugs. Because here I am going through withdrawals that are fucking awful. Every day, I'm tempted to just take my SSRI, even though I tape it off as well, which is supposed to make it nothing, but I'm afraid that doesn't work. But either way, here I am going through terrible withdrawals. They're not as bad as heroin, but you know, no one's on heroin. This heroin doesn't exist. Uh, yeah, little bitch ass can't even take this. What a little bitch. Anyway, you're a little bitch if you think withdrawals bad. I mean, I'm a little bitch. But here I am, using my powers of determination to not get back on the CIA mind control drugs. So, here's my options. I'm going to try and eliminate one thing. If you know me, you know that something I do when I feel like I'm coming down with an illness is eat a clove of raw garlic. So that's the plan right now. But before that, I need to show you my greatest invention yet. Every time, I constantly, I have my vape thing on my desk, uh, standing vertically, uh, all the time. And I often accidentally, because it's top heavy, and I often accidentally knock it over and it falls off my desk and I have to search around on the floor. Happens pretty much every day to me, which is very annoying. And sometimes even worse than that is when I'll either knock it off or I've just put it down somewhere and I can't find it. And I have to go fucking running around trying to find this shit. And I always think to myself, man, if only vapes had that thing that phones have, where you can like do a find my device thing and it'll ring your phone and then you can go find it. If only every object could have that. If only there was some sort of way to solve all of these problems. So here's what I've done. Using very advanced technology, I have taped my vaporizer to my mobile phone to create the ultimate being. As you can see, it still works. Yep, works perfectly fine. I can still refill it, I can access the button, I can access the charger on the back. It won't fall out because the, you may be wondering, like, how is this secure? Well, I have a phone case, and the tape goes around this and then into the back of the phone case. So it's that, even though it's not that sticky, it very quickly lost its stickiness, as you can see from the fact that it does this. But just the tension alone basically keeps it there. Isn't that impractical for when you're holding the phone? Now I can hold it fine with one hand still. Maybe not with this hand, but with this hand it's still, my thumb's in a fine position. And I normally type with two hands anyway. So what I'm saying is, I am the greatest. All the volume and stuff buttons are on the other side. The fingerprint reader is still accessible. The camera's still accessible. It basically causes me no detriment. And the only possible bad thing is that it's really heavy in your pocket or wide in your pocket, which is why it has this alternate mode to fit into pockets better. See, I'm such a genius, I even created an alternate mode. What have you done today? You haven't created an alternate mode, little bitch. Here I am gonna go get garlic and eat garlic. Actually, I might just make this its own video. I have decided this might just be an old school no thank you video where I just film it vertically. Welcome back to the Curing Your Illnesses channel, where we cure illnesses. Here we go, get a bit of garlic. Let's cut this baby open like a whale. I just started watching a man chew. That's cool. I like the way the faces are. There we go. There's a piece of garlic. Need to cut this bit off. This is not easy to do with one hand and a fucking massively oversized knife, but I will manage. Yeah, there we go. Now, you may think you should just eat that, but in fact, crush it with the handle of the knife and wait for a few minutes, then come back to it. If you've seen Curing Your Illnesses channel, then you know why. And if you haven't seen that, then you never know. But yeah, lots of things have been happening in my life. That's a complete lie. Nothing has been happening in my life. But today a few things have been happening. Firstly, last night I realized that I know very little about history. That's my main knowledge slacking point, is history. I know fuck all about history. So I've been trying to research a lot about history. I've been I was like, where's a good place to start? I guess I'll just start with the Romans. So I've started with the Romans. You know, I know a little bit about prehistory and stuff like that, paleontology. I know a little bit about paleontology and prehistory. I know a little bit about the Byzantines and Mesopotamians. Those guys are cool. I fuck with them. But the Romans. So I've skipped out on the Egyptians and the Greeks. I'm not entirely sure why, but sometimes you just gotta skip out on the Egyptians and the Greeks. There's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, I've started with the Romans. I'll go back and fill in the blanks. But yeah, they seem alright. I like the way they built roads. That's cool. What else did they do? They had a couple Punic ones. You ever just have a Punic one? Yeah, they have a couple Punic ones and twos. There was my guy Hannibal. He did his thing over the Alps with a couple elephants. Everyone's so impressed by that, but he didn't do shit. All he did was just walk. Like he did the exact same as everyone else. He just walked. Pfft, I could go over Alp if I needed to. I could go over Alp. Think I can't go over Alp? I could go over Alp any day of the week. Hand me an Alp, see if I don't go over it. Pass it to me right now. You got any Alps? No, you don't have any Alps. Of course you fucking don't. You little stupid boy. You little stupid tiny boy. You little stupid tiny itty bitty boy. Yeah, I could walk over an Alp. They had irrigation systems. They had underfloor heating. these Romans I'm talking about. Yeah, overall, I respect them. Not that much. They did have like slaves and shit, I believe. Um, Maybe they did. I'm pretty sure they did. Maybe I'm thinking of the Greeks. I'm pretty sure the Romans had slaves as well. Everyone had slaves back then. Nothing wrong with a bit of the old slavery. Oh God. Um, yeah, they're interesting. Obviously, a big thing about studying Rome is about the fall of the Roman Empire. But I'm doing it chronologically, so I haven't gotten there yet. I'm just at the end of the Second Punic War. Uh, Actually, a bit past that, but yeah. Hopefully one day, hopefully one day I'll figure it out. Hopefully I'll just figure out why and how Rome fell, and then I'll become the leader of the Democratic Socialists of America, anarcho-primitivist branch. It's gonna be great. I can't wait for it. Um, these brain zaps, they're very annoying. Um, if I had to explain it to you, it would be like this. Well, I could just explain it to you by telling you what it is. Uh, so no one really knows exactly why. But when you have no serotonin, well, not no, but very little. If you have no serotonin in your brain, you get serotonin syndrome, which is very bad. But if you have little serotonin in your brain, um, which can most commonly happen after stopping SSRIs, I believe it's known as discontinuation syndrome. There you go, I remembered that. Uh, it can also happen, the brain zaps, the day after you do MDMA, or after you take MDMA, which, as we all know, works by making your brain secrete a fuck ton of serotonin, which then fucks you over as soon as you come down, which is why MDMA not worth it. Uh, yeah, I quoted it. Quote me on this one. Here's some drugs that are shit tier, even though they're not, but they kind of are, for weird reasons. Number one, MDMA. It makes me feel weird. It makes me do weird things. It's like, how do I explain this? Okay, firstly, it's literally neurotoxic. You can only do it like once every 3 months or whatever if you want to be completely unharmed. But most people either don't know or don't care, so they end up giving themselves brain damage. You can tell as soon as I'm talking to some girl that clearly did bear MDMA in her teen years and has got brain damage. I instantly know. You can tell because they wear chokers. That's how you can tell. The chokers, they just grow. I don't know how it works. It's pretty cool. Number two, I've switched hands. We got one and two on either hand. Number two, or number two if you prefer, or number two if you prefer. I don't know. Number two, cocaine. Sure, it's fine. It's good, but 45 minutes. 45 minutes only. That's shit. You don't want. It only lasts for 45 minutes. So why am I doing it like this? 45 minutes. That's bullshit. And it costs so much. It's so expensive. Fuck that. Fuck that noise. Only if you're rich. That's my opinion. Only if you're rich. And number three, all psychedelics, especially LSD, mostly LSD, because the government is just another example of the government fucking with people. Fun fact: this is proven in what's that thing called? Freedom of Information Act documents that in the 60s and early 70s the CIA promoted and spread LSD within communities in order to dissuade them from doing anything, basically, because when you're just a hippie fucking doing acid all the time, you're not going to be taking any action, and that's very helpful if you're a government who doesn't want people taking action. So my opinion on that stuff is do it maybe once or twice and then just leave it alone. You don't it's not important. That's basically all my opinions. Bam. Oh, my number four, this might actually be the worst. Xanax is trash. whatever your dealer says, he's giving you fake Zans. It's trash. Uh, it's for fucking normies. If you want something like that, like it's not even if you absolutely must do a benzo, which you don't. No one absolutely must do a benzo, but even if you absolutely must do a benzo, Xanax is not even the best benzo. So you're stupid. So benzos are stupid as well because like what's the point? What do they do? There's no pleasure in it. Fuck you. Alright, it's time to eat this garlic. It should have been long enough now. Crushed up garlic, should get that Allison. Turn my vape phone around. This is a little inconvenient, but that should work. See, you could just like eat it and swallow it like a pill, but I like to really chew it and get the horrible taste. It's not horrible. I actually really like the taste, but it's the weird garlicky spiciness. Um, I wonder what. I bet it's pepperin or something that makes garlic spicy. But I've never actually looked it up because it's not capsaicin. I mean, I say that it could be capsaicin. I'm assuming it's not capsaicin because it behaves differently from capsaicin. It feels different. One thing I've noticed from my many months of eating raw garlic is if you eat raw garlic, even if the spices mostly die down in your mouth, if you then chew some chewing gum, it suddenly tastes really weird and spicy, which doesn't happen for me with capsaicin. But maybe it happens with pepperin. I've never actually tested it. So I'm assuming it's pepperin or something else, but maybe it is just capsaicin, or maybe it's its own fucking spice chemical. Who knows? They're all the same fucking thing. Actually, pepperin is apparently pretty good for you. I might be saying that wrong. Pepperine. I don't know. Why do you think I know how to speak English? Let me head back into my room. I was looking at my analytics the other day for this channel. Apparently more people watch my videos using Linux than using Macs, which is fucking sick. Now we just need to get that higher than the Windows users and move one. I think iOS was higher though, so that's kind of sad. But what can you expect from fucking people, you know? Why am I such a genius? Every day I sit down and I ask myself this question, and every day I hear a voice which tells me, "You're not a genius. You're not a genius. You're just a stupid little man. You're just a stupid little man with goblin ears and elf eyes and smoky bones. You're just a silly little boy with smoky bones." I'm like, "Alright, mate. Leave me alone. I didn't ask for this." And that's about where that conversation ended. Every day. There was something else. But I don't remember what it was. I don't know. Was it about the Romans? I don't think so. Could have been about anything really. Oh yeah, it was about my food intake. I've been doing intermittent fasting because I put on a little weight recently from drinking a lot of beer and doing a lot of midnight snacking. So now every day I only eat between the hours of 1 and 9. Well, I almost spoke there. I almost did the language, but I didn't. Basically, I only eat breakfast and like dinner, I guess. I don't even know if you would call it breakfast, but I only eat, and then I have to take at least 16 hours between my last meal of the day and my first meal of the next day. I just got a new follower. How nice. Fuck you, I don't need followers. Yeah, I have to take at least 16 hours, and normally it ends up being much more than that. Like today, it was about 23.5 hours between my last meal and my single meal, which was very delicious. I made a sweet potato mash, peas, and sausages with a little mustard. It was super delicious. Would highly recommend it. Uh, the sweet potatoes and the sausages, I mean, bangers and mash is a classic, right? But bangers, if you just make them plain, are pretty plain. I mean, I'm talking about mash here, not bangers. What am I talking about? Mash is pretty plain generally. Now, there are variations on the classic mash, like the monster mash, that's a good one. And there's also things like garlic mash. Garlic mash is pretty damn good. Uh, the name is pretty descriptive. You just put a lot of garlic in with it. It tastes pretty great. Uh, there's also wasabi mash, which is one of my personal favorites, but not appropriate for this dish. However, if you make like, say, teriyaki fish or something, uh, that shit tastes good. I fucks heavily with wasabi mash. You literally just squirt a bunch of wasabi, and when I said squirt, you put a bunch of wasabi in with your mash, and tastes real good. And it never gets too spicy. Well, I guess it could theoretically get too spicy if you put way too much wasabi in, but generally it just adds the wasabi flavor and a nice kick without like crazy spiciness. It's time for me to look up that thing that I said I was going to look up, which was about the spiciness of garlic. So let me do that. Why is garlic spiced? Because of this, many people. Allison. Oh, that's the one. Well, I know about Allison. I didn't know Allison was a. When taken by mouth, it can cause bad breath, a burning sensation, gas, nausea, vomiting, body odor, and diarrhea. What the fuck? What the fuck? Raw garlic is possible. What the fuck are you talking about, WebMD? Yo, this is why you don't trust WebMD. Raw garlic is possibly unsafe when applied to the skin. It's fucking garlic. What are you talking about, you little bitch? You little smooth, smoky bone ass motherfucker. Oh my god. This is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking seen. Want to live your best life? Yeah, I'm gonna live my best life by never visiting your fucking shitty website ever in my fucking life, you bastards. So that was the first thing I wanted to look up, and then there was something about something else, which I don't remember what it was. It was either... So I looked up the thing about garlic, and then I was gonna look up something else. I don't give a fuck. What was I saying? I keep saying that. I was saying I'm doing that, and sometimes I'm doing only one meal, like today. Which might seem like overkill to most people. Like, yeah, wait, 16 hours? But remember, sleep counts for within those hours, and I sleep for anywhere between 8 to 10 hours a night. So like I only need if I sleep for 10 hours, I only need to not eat for 6 hours, which is generally very easy. All I do is just not snack after dinner, and it's like naturally does the job. Which means, I mean, I haven't noticed anything yet, but I'm assuming it takes a little while to lose weight. It doesn't happen instantly, and especially because it's not like I'm fat or anything. But I find it best to nip these things in the bud before they start. As soon as you notice, this is why fat people confuse me, because everyone's always talking about like how hard it is to lose weight, but it's actually really easy to just not gain weight in the first place. Because as soon as you notice yourself starting to gain weight, you just stop eating. I've also stopped drinking beer as well. That's the other thing. I've switched out beer for vodka, which was a terrible idea, but at least it's saving. I mean, at least it's saving me calories. It's not saving me liver though, but it's saving me calories. Beer is really calorific, by the way, that is a scientific word. Calorific. It's great, isn't it? It's very calorific. It's like drinking bread, pretty much, and it's like drinking white bread, except it also kills you even faster. I mean, I've been reading some stuff that like white bread and all those grains are really bad for you, and I'm sure they are, but I'm not gonna go that far yet. I mean, I'm trying. I'm trying to be not necessarily healthy. I'm only healthy in the way that I lose weight so I look good, and not so I feel good. Because I feel like ass. If I just wanted to feel good, I'd be eating fucking pizza every day and burgers all the time. I've had a real craving for burgers recently. Good thing I don't leave the house and can't go and buy a burger. I'm sure they do takeout burgers. I'm sure that's a thing that exists. But it's a good thing that costs money, and I have food in the fridge for free that is easier. Well, it's not technically for free, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't have to spend extra. Uh, it's a good thing that I have all that motivation not to go buy a burger. Otherwise, I would be eating a lot of burgers, which are bad for you, as everyone knows. Um, what else? As soon as I stopped taking SSRIs, I suddenly got a boost of creativity, which is completely unsurprising. Because when I started taking the SSRIs, I lost a lot of my creativity. What I mean is motivation to create, not necessarily ability to create. Because even when I was taking SSRIs, when I forced myself to make music or draw, it wasn't noticeably worse than before, but I just had like less motivation or inspiration to do so. Whereas now I suddenly have loads. I wonder why that's correlated. Could it be that they're government mind control drugs designed to control the population? Could be. Could be that a population that is dissatisfied with their material conditions is more likely to rebel against their government, and therefore, by labeling said dissatisfaction, is that a fucking word? Dissatisfaction, that's the word. By labeling said dissatisfaction as something which can be cured with a pill, uh, bam, bip, bop, you've done it, boy, you've done it. Not to say that depression and mental illnesses aren't real; they're very much real. Uh, but they're not. It's. I think it's more complicated than most people seem to realize, because yes, antidepressants. I'll take a depression as an example here because I know the most about how it works. So antidepressants, SSRIs are the most popular. So selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. You've also got like SNRIs, MAOI inhibitors, and all sorts of others. But generally, they all work on um, either serotonin or norepinephrine. Uh, Norepinephrine. That's it. Norepinephrine. Which are two things that they're little neurotransmitters. They're responsible for various things about like pleasure and enjoyment and stuff like that. So serotonin is probably the one you've heard of, and dopamine is probably one you've heard of as well. I believe there are antidepressants that act on dopamine. I don't know which ones they are though. Seems suspicious. I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't trust them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure they work fine. But yeah, a combination of these three chemicals is what's generally responsible for depression. However, uh, just fixing the chemical imbalance. Firstly, that's what they'll tell you they're doing, but the drugs don't actually just fix the chemical imbalance because that's not how things work. They don't SSRIs, for example. It's a reuptake inhibitor, so it's not like it's getting your brain to produce the quote unquote normal amount of this chemical. All it does is your brain produces the same amount and then it blocks it from being reabsorbed into the system to go around, so that it will bounce off and then hit the receptor again to trigger the same response again, which is, at first it has the uh, result of seeming like there's been more of this chemical produced, but in reality, it just creates a new unbalance between the amount of chemical that's produced and the amount of chemical that is perceived as being produced by the receptors, which causes its own group of problems. And, antidepressants can be very effective and helpful for some people, but for a large group of people, they're just addictive and expensive and unhelpful. Like me, for example. There's been many drugs that have been proven to be way more effective at fighting depression than, or not proven, like proven, but they've been shown in studies to be more effective at fighting depression than SSRIs and the like for example ketamine and psilocybin, neither of which I have ever tried, so who knows. But those aren't going to work because they might be too effective, which is not what people want. And I'm not one of those people that thinks like the government's trying to not allow us to do psychedelics because it will expand our minds. I just fucking told you that I think psychedelics are a government scheme. I just told you this. How did you forget it? LSD was literally invented by the CIA. You're stupid. You're so stupid. But here's what I am saying is that it actually would be better if most of the population was depressed, because depression is not just symptoms. SSRIs are putting a kind of weird, shitty bandage on the problem, right? There is a reason that people's brains begin to produce less of certain neurotransmitters. Now, there's about a quadrillion different reasons that could happen, right? Whether it could be literally anything from a brain injury to childhood trauma or like there's so many possibilities of why something like that would happen. But a large chunk of those possibilities revolve around material conditions. So the other main treatment for depression, aside from drugs, is therapy, right? You go do cognitive behavioral therapy or something else, and that supposedly can help you work through your problems, right? Now, this is fine if your depression happens to be caused by problems which you have control over. Say, I don't know, I'm really having trouble, I'm really stuttering a lot today. That's interesting. Sometimes that just happens. I don't know why. But as I was saying, if your depression is caused by is completely internal thought, then it's probable that therapy could help. I recommend people try therapy. Even if you can afford it, that is, if you live in a place where it costs money. If you live in the UK and you're under 18, therapy is completely free. Thanks, NHS. Too bad you're shit. Too bad the therapist is bad. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, my therapist back in the day when I was a kid was a very nice person. My therapists, plural, were all very nice people, who, they definitely tried their best. They definitely tried their best with what they were given. So that works. But if your depression is caused by material conditions, no amount of people talking to you is going to be able to change that. The only way you can change that is by, going up to your local government building with some sort of automatic firearm and, discharging it. That's the only thing that's going to do it. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's all they don't want you to know. That is really the ultimate cure for depression. It's not psychedelics, it's not antidepressants, it's not therapy, it's not yoga, it's not working out, it's purchasing a firearm, walking into your local government building, and discharging said firearm. That is the real cure for depression. And if anyone tries to tell you otherwise, they are literally possessed by demons. Demonic possession is real. This is what people don't understand. Demonic possession is real. Well, probably. Gang stalking is definitely real. I can guarantee you that I'm going to be a gang stalking victim soon enough. Let me tell you why. Gang stalking is a real phenomenon that was documented. by the Nazis did it, basically. The Nazis did gang stalking. There's even testimonies of people who say they were paid to gang stalk people in America. This is a real thing. Yeah, we all laughed at the gang stalking victims until it turned out they were right. Just like everyone laughed at the Moss supremacists until it turned out we were right. You little cunt. Why am I so aggressive today? I bet that's really loud for you guys, the vape inhales, because it's right near the microphone. See, if you see how my vape is connected right now, you may wonder why I put it. You can't really see that well. Let me see if the lens needs cleaning. Nope, it's just a lot of noise. So it's you can just about make it out. It's on this side and it's below the top, whereas you may be thinking, why didn't you put it above the top like an antenna? Now the reason for that, why didn't I do that? Oh yeah, the reason for that is because that would be great. That's what I tried at first, but the tape would need to be too high up. It would end up covering the fingerprint sensor, which, I mean, technically I could just use my password to log in, which, you know, everyone was completely fine with that back in the day. But, you know, sometimes you just got to go for a bit of convenience, and having my fingerprint to log into my phone and do various other things on my phone is rather convenient. And that's the name of the game when it comes to these advanced modifications to technological hardware. When are they going to make a phone that has a built-in vape? That's my question. You know what? You laugh now, but it's probably going to be a thing. That is the sort of thing that some fucking company would do. Or a case that's a vape. I bet someone's going to do that. You know what? I bet it fucking exists already. Vape phone case. Let me look this shit up. I can guarantee... Actually, I won't guarantee you, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let me look. Vape phone case. I told you. I fucking told you. I knew that would be a thing. Why would it not be? People are so stupid. Why does anyone think humanity should exist? Oh my god, that's the... Oh my god, I can't believe that's a fucking... Well, I can believe... That's the big problem here, is that I can so easily believe that that's a thing, that I predicted it before I even knew it. Look, that's just a fucking jewel attached to a phone. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Oh my... Oh my god, what is wrong with people? Look at that one. That one's fucking banging. I thought, you know, when I said this prediction, I thought it'd be like one company. But no, it turns out that this is a thing. There are multiple companies that make phone vape attachments. God. Oh my god. There's no hope for the human race. Is this another one? Oh, it's the same one as I was just looking at. Oh, look at this one. Well, that's actually not a phone case, that's just a travel pack for your vape. But it really doesn't need to be carbon fiber, or I'm imagining fake carbon fiber. That is just unnecessary. God, vapes are the fucking worst thing ever invented. I wish vapes weren't bad. Like, they could be cool. They could... And, like, they had the... If it hadn't been for the way that they exist, they had the potential to be cyberpunk, you know, if you think about it. So it's an electronic cigarette. Like, that is peak cyberpunk. But sadly, they look like Transformer cogs, and the people that vape I think this is where vape companies went wrong. This is where it all went wrong. The fact that vapes are supposedly better for you than cigarettes. Now, you know, I have my doubts about that, but I have no evidence to prove it. I really hope that it comes out in like 50 years time that vapes are actually, or less, that vapes are actually like way worse for you than cigarettes. I really hope that happens, because then people will stop vaping and it'll be cool again. It's just like, you know, people will smoke cigarettes to show that they're passive nihilism. Let me think of the Nietzsche quote. or Nietzsche thing he uses. Is it? I think it's Nietzsche. Maybe it's not Nietzsche, but I think it's Nietzsche. Like the death drive. Is it that Nietzsche? God, I'm so glad I have the entire internet as a thing. Freudian. It's Freudian. Okay, well there you go. I don't know why I thought that was Nietzsche. It sounds like a Nietzsche thing. Come on, forgive me, please. But yeah, it's a Freudian death drive thing, as I now know. Now the reason that I vape is because it's cheap, not because I don't want to die, but simply for two reasons. It's cheaper than buying cigarettes, pre-rolled cigarettes. It's not as cheap as buying roll-ups, like cigarettes you roll yourself, but it, I don't like those. Like, I don't like, they smoke differently from cigarettes. That's that's a whole other fucking can of worms. Sometimes I smoke them though, and also because I can't smoke indoors, but I can vape indoors, and I'm indoors all the time. So that's why, not because I care about my fucking lungs. Don't try to talk to me about my lungs. Don't even prove to me that I have lungs, and then we'll talk. Prove to me right here, right now, in the YouTube comments that I have lungs, and then we'll talk. Otherwise, I won't talk because I don't have lungs, and therefore I have no way of propelling air through my vocal tract. So, got you there, haven't I? I fucking got you there. Can't. What are you gonna do about that, little bitch? So that's why I vape. Are you serious? Does that say 40 minutes? Have I been recording for 40 minutes? What have I even said this entire time? You know, time just goes, man. It's not even real. How do I explain this? Either there is no continuity of self or everyone is immortal. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. If you want more information, hit me up on Twitter. Twitter.com/Jack. Ask me, is it real? And I'll tell you the answer. Twitter.com/Jack. You know, some people say we should go outside. I say I got my outside right here in a bottle, little tiny bitch. Look at this shit. That's my outside. I got my outside in a bottle. Oh, but what about fresh air and a nice spring breeze? Oh yeah, what about it, you little stupid? Oh, but the sound of birds chirping, got plenty of that in spades. But humans, that's gonna be a no from me, motherfucker. That's gonna be a no from me. I, I keep thinking I'm gonna run out of things. Like I keep pausing and going, because I keep thinking I'm about to end the video, and suddenly something pops into my mind like that makes me think, oh, I can talk about this and tell you guys about this, which is great because you know, you guys really care about everything I have to say, which is pretty amazing and incredible, and completely untrue. I've been pondering to myself, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué está? And the answer is, parce que c'est une crêpe. C'est une omelette de fromage. I really like languages. I like languages. I like them. I like the way French sounds. French sounds pretty good, to me at least. Le français c'est très bien. C'est très bon. C'est très bon. Ah, c'est très bon. Ah, mais c'est... It's great. It's great. They're just running around speaking French the whole time and they don't even think it's hilarious. You ever speak to a Frenchman? They just talk and they don't even think it's funny. Oh God. What English is like, English is generally, you know how you'll hear someone talk to, like, I don't know, Italian person, and they'll be like, oh, I love the Italian language, it's so beautiful, or I love the French language or Spanish language or Japanese language or Vietnam. No one likes the Vietnamese language. I don't, maybe some people do. I don't know why Vietnamese popped into my head. I like Russian. I like Arabic. Arabic sounds really good, especially with an Egyptian accent. Um, Portuguese is good. I like Guandonghua. That's not how you say that word. But I don't know the tones, but that's Cantonese. Uh, I like. There's so many good languages out there. I really like Twi and Igbo. They're pretty similar. There's some African languages. Um, I'm a big fan of. I mean, Polish sounds pretty great. I always liked Polish personally. Um, I think I said Russian already. Um, yeah, I'm not such a big fan of German, but I could take German. But English doesn't sound that great to me. I don't think it sounds great to anyone. I don't think anyone really likes English. Um, and Mandarin's alright. I prefer Cantonese. Uh, there's another one there's one that I really like that I can't think of right now. Um, like I really like the way it sounds. It doesn't matter. Oh, Hawaiian sounds really cool. I like all the glottal stops in Hawaiian. I'm a big fan of glottal stops. Um, yeah, I fucks with Hawaiian pretty heavily, but it's kind of larpy to learn Hawaiian, especially since my problem with Hawaii is that, or to say it in how it's supposed to be pronounced, Hawaii. You hear that? That's a glottal stop. Hawaii. That's a glottal stop. Shit's sick. The thing I like about Hawaiian is that there's like no sounds, but they just have ridiculously long words. Like oh, what's that one fucking fish? It's called like the Humuhumunukunukuapua'a something something ah. I'm gonna look this up right now. It's like the national fish of Hawaii or something. Apparently, national fish is a thing. Hawaiian fish. Hunu hunu is like the hunu hunu umu umu. What is it? Aha. Humuhumunukunukuapua'a. That's it. Let me see if I can get a pronunciation guide on this. Here's my attempt. Humuhumunukunuku. Well, it's not actually as Humuhumunukunuku. Oh, it's not actually as complicated as I thought it was. Humuhumunukunukuapua'a. I gotta remember the stop before the ah at the end. Let's see if I can hear this. Humuhumunukunukuapua'a. That's it. Whoa, that's loud. Oh, please give me please say this is not just music and fucking iMovie. Oh, fuck you. I hate you, you little tiny stupid man. You're not even a fucking alien. When was the last time you hung out with a Zeta Reticulan, boys? Tell me your Zeta Reticulan stories in the comments below. Please leave in the comments your greatest Zeta Reticulan memories. This video is going to be going on for way too long. What am I doing? Looking up Hawaiian fish? There's enough of that. Fuck. This is a good one, though. One take, just solid, steaming through it, I need to do this. Because the whole dealio of editing lots of different videos together, it lacks a sense of cohesion, but more importantly, it is way too much effort. I'm supposed to be putting minimal effort into this channel. I mean, I do enjoy editing, but I don't particularly enjoy editing when it's literally just pull a bunch of videos into a timeline and press render, and you don't do anything else to it. That's just boring as fuck. It's enjoyable to edit things like I don't know, like quick videos that like have heavy editing, like cardistry videos, or I don't know, something like, or something that has much more complex editing, like the Odyssey, or what's that one called? Cleaning your room tutorial. That one's good. Or part 2, chapter 2. Those videos that are more heavily edited, I enjoy those. Or plunder mnemonics. Or wait, is it Plunge and Mnemonics the one I'm thinking of? I don't fucking know. I've got too many videos and none of them make any sense and they're all trash. But for some reason, actually I think I'm losing subscribers right now, which is good. I don't know why I ever had them in the first place. You should get the fuck out before it's too late. Think about it. If you've if you made it to this far in the video, you're probably a real one. You're probably a real one because you're willing to listen to this. So if you've made it to this far in the video, you know, I hate to say it, but you probably shouldn't unsubscribe, because if you're willing to do this to yourself, then you're probably a real one. But, you know, if not that you're going to hear this, while we're here, since it's just me and you guys that are the real ones here, let's all take a turn to make fun of the people that left before this video finished, because, fun fact, most people left before this video finished. So let's all take a quick second to sit back and have a hearty chuckle at those guys. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. So that was good. I'm happy. Was it good for you? Did you enjoy that? Because I certainly did. Which is crazy. God, I feel like a fucking filter fish right now.